You might be living your life on a daily basis in our great Republic of Uganda, but you might not know that the daily activities that you do, or some of them that you do, might be illegal in the long run or illegal in the eyes of the law. In today's video, I'm going to discuss with you all the things, or at least the top 8 things that I have realized, noted down, researched about, and noted that may land you into jail because they might have been illegal while you may not have even known that they were illegal. In today's video, let's discuss the top 8 things that are illegal that you didn't even know in Uganda. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome to Simply Legal. I'm your host Terry Kahuma on this channel, and today we're doing something unique. We're doing a very unique video where this appeals to both Ugandans and international people who are planning on coming to Uganda. Some of these things may happen to you and you may wonder whether they are legal or illegal in the eyes of the law in Uganda. Well, let's start with number 1. So during my research, I looked at driving on opposite lanes during traffic. Guys, all my dear viewers of Simply Legal, this is something that has irritated me for a very long time. Personally, I'm a driver. I've been driving for over 10 years. And I have noticed time and time again, especially on Acacia Avenue, from the lights of Golf Course Road up to Acacia Avenue or up to Kamocha side, I've noticed that if you have drivers on this lane of the road going to the side of Golf Course up to Acacia Avenue, and you have people coming from Acacia Avenue up to Golf Course, many times, especially during the evening, you're going to find that people are going to now start driving on the opposite side. So cars are coming on this side and you are going this side. I want to state that that is wrong, because under the traffic rules and safety regulations of Uganda, as amended, it is not proper for you to drive on the opposite side of the lane. That goes for motorbike cyclists, who we commonly know as border cyclists. It is wrong for truck drivers. It is wrong for normal car vehicles, which are saloon cars or big vehicles. Under the traffic rules and safety regulations, you're supposed to stay on one side of the lane. Now, it baffles me sometimes when I see traffic officers guiding cars to drive on this side of the road. I think that is wrong, because I try to put myself in their shoes. I try to see why they're doing it, and of course that's to push traffic away, like it's to ease the tension of the traffic, to get many cars to go to their different destinations. However, under the traffic rules and safety regulations in Uganda, we drive on the left side of the road. If you noticed, for the millions of drivers in Uganda, we're a population of about 50 million people. So for the drivers, you know that we drive on the left side of the road, even the different sides of the lane. Now, on that particular road of Acacia Avenue, we have 2 lanes on each side of the road. We have the left side and again the right side on the left side, and we have the left side and the right side on the right side, which comes the opposite way. So when you go on this side of the road and you knock a car coming from the opposite side, then that means you have nowhere to report, because initially you are breaking a law. You are breaking a law under the traffic rules and safety regulations of Uganda, because you're driving on the other side of the lane. And even if a traffic officer guides you to ease the tension by driving on, to ease the traffic tension by driving on this other side of the road, he's not going to defend you or stand witness in your trial. So that's number 1. Let's go to number 2. Number 2, or the second most illegal thing that is done in Uganda, or this is something that I deem as a practitioner of the law, is civilians being tried by the court martial of Uganda. Now, let me just explain briefly. We have different court systems in Uganda. I've explained millions of times on Simply Legal. We have the Magistrates Court Grade 1, we have the Chief Magistrates Court, then we have the High Court, then we have the Court of Appeal, Supreme Court. So these are the major court systems in Uganda that we have, and the most common that most people know. Now, we have other different courts or tribunals which preside over different issues. We have tax appeals tribunal, electricity disputes tribunal, but we also have a court which is meant for army officers or officers of the Uganda People's Defense Force, which is the UPDF. Now, the court martial is a court which presides over serving officers of the army. Now, it's sometimes baffling when I see civilians like me and Moses, who is here on the camera, or even you, who is watching this video on Simply Legal. Now, you find that you're just walking on the street, or maybe you were in possession of a firearm and you actually had a license for that firearm. Now, someone puts a case against you and they take you to the court martial, or the court martial for some reason is the court for the army. So you find that when you are taken to the court martial, you are not a serving citizen of the army, or you're not a serving officer of the army. So therefore, the court martial has no right to try you. Now, let's go deeper into this issue. We have what's called jurisdiction. Now, jurisdiction of a court means the inherent powers of a court, the inherent rights and powers of a court to try any matter. Now, for example, if I commit a crime in Jinja, I cannot be taken to court in Kampala or the High Court in Kampala. I must be taken to the High Court in Jinja. Now, all that is jurisdiction. Now, when it comes to the court martial, many times we see different figures on TV being tried in the court martial. Yet they are ordinary people like me and you. They're ordinary Joes, ordinary Marys, ordinary Semambos. So you find that it is illegal in the first place because you cannot be tried by the court martial. You must be tried in a court as a civilian. Civilians are tried, for example, under the High Court or Magistrates Court. Now, what laws govern being tried by an ordinary court when you're an ordinary citizen? That is the Judicature Act of Uganda. Now, we have in particular Section 13 and 14, but in specific Section 14, which talks about the inherent powers of the High Court. If you're not tried in the Magistrates Court, then you're tried in the High Court because it has universal jurisdiction. It has jurisdiction to hear any matter of any nature, meaning it can be a civil issue, a land issue, or criminal issue. So that is number 2 of what I find most illegal, or the most common illegal things that happen in Uganda. Let's go to number 3. Now we have number 3, which is the most controversial, that just happened about yesterday or in the beginning of this week. Now we have what's called directives, and we have different statutory bodies. We have Nema, which is the National Environment Management Authority, and it has its own act, which is a National Environment Management Act. Now, Nema, which is a body that governs the environment in Uganda, came up with a directive stating that every car should have a dustbin in it. So meaning that every driver of a motor vehicle must have a dustbin, and now they're calling it the Nema dustbin law. Now, I must even laugh honestly at this directive because it is so uncoordinated. I know the point where Nema is coming from, but it is not something that can be implemented easily. There are thousands upon millions of cars in Uganda, and you can't monitor every car to put a dustbin there. The best way is to put dustbins all over the city, all over Uganda, so that we can maintain a clean and eco-free environment. Now, the mandate of NEMA is to make sure that the environment is conserved for future generations. Now, we have the National Environment Act, but you find that that directive may not even fit well with the National Environment Management Act. Now, many lawyers or many law dons have come out to challenge this directive, stating that it goes against it goes against Article 28, Clause 12 of the Constitution. What does Article 28, Clause 12 of the Constitution say? It states that you cannot try someone, or you cannot imprison them, or implicate them in court for a law which has not yet passed. So yes, this may not be a law that has been passed, but if it's a NEMA directive and it's actually properly enforced, then you're going to see traffic officers or even policemen removing people from their cars and asking them whether they have a dustbin in their car to put all their litter, as if Kampala is already not clean enough. So I would say that is one of the most ridiculous laws or directives that I've ever heard of in Uganda. Well, let's go to number 4. Now, according to what I had done my research on, I also go to number 4, which is blocking or removing of number plates from motor vehicles. I've already addressed this on the channel in relation to malicious damage of property, so I'll leave the link in the description below. However, I thought I'd also address it just briefly on this particular video. Now, removal or blocking of number plates, of course, is illegal because the traffic officers do this in the sense that they want to teach a driver who has not traveled with a driver's license a lesson. Now, there are already laws under the traffic rules and safety regulations that talk about how to punish someone if they have not moved without their driver's license, or if they don't have a driver's license at all. Now, to pluck off a number plate, it means that you're going to damage his or her motor vehicle or property to the extent that you're going to leave his car in a shape that you did not find it in. So if you want more details on plucking or removing of number plates and malicious damage property or damage property in the traffic rules and safety regulations, I'll leave the link in the description below. So let's go to number 5 and finish up this video. Number 6, one of the most ridiculous laws or things that people do on a daily basis in Uganda and which are illegal is using a lot of force when arresting someone. I've handled arrests on this channel before, and I'll still leave the link in the description below about everything concerning arrests because I've done about 3 videos on it. However, I want to address the major issue of holding someone like this. Let me even stand up and show you. Holding someone like this, like what the police normally do. If you notice in other developed nations or in developed countries, there's no need to use that forceful use when arresting someone. You find that even if the police has come to arrest someone or the police has come to apprehend someone or take them to a police station or to court, you find that they have to hold them by the trouser in the most embarrassing way possible. Now, in accordance with the Police Act, and all other presiding laws in Uganda, you're not supposed to use a lot of force when taking someone, especially if they have not resisted arrest. Now you find in many occasions they hold someone like the way I've just demonstrated and they slide them under the police van. Normally the police use Toyota vans, but you get someone because you've suspected them to be a wrongdoer, and then you slide them under the police truck. Now that is degrading and inhumane treatment. In accordance with Article 24 of the Constitution and also Article 44 still of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, if you look at the actions that the police use to slide someone under the police truck or under where their chairs are situated, that it goes in contravention to Article 24 and Article 44 of the Constitution, because you've told this person you're going to arrest them, you've told them what they have done, but to forcefully put them under there and the person is like this, I mean, it's inhuman and degrading treatment. And we find that on a daily basis, this is happening. Arrests happening on a daily basis, whether it's a land transaction issue, whether it's a family issue, whether it's a political issue. You find that almost every single person who is not deemed an important person is slid under the police truck. So I think that is also something that is wrong, and unfortunately our police officers are not trained properly, or they are not trained on how to use reasonable force on someone. If someone has not resisted arrest, then you can just put them inside the police truck and take them. However, in other situations, using reasonable force on someone, if they tell you, you know what, come and we go to the police station, most people comply. But in many cases that I've seen, or in most cases, they slide you under the police truck. So that is a very illegal thing that has been happening that people may not even know is illegal. So let's go to the final 2 and wrap up this video. Let's go to number 7. So we have the most common that we see on a daily basis, and that is building in a wetland. Now, my people in Boise, I have talked about you before on my channel. It's not that I hate you, I love all my people in Uganda, but it's important to know what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. Now, when you build on a wetland, even with normal common sense, without even the law applying, you know that building a wetland is wrong because firstly, you're destroying the environment. We need these wetlands in our own ecosystem. The world operates with ecosystems. The trees are there for a reason, us human beings are there for a reason, wetlands are there for a reason, and lakes are there for a reason. Now, we are preserving these wetlands for a reason. There's a reason why even developed countries, they don't construct in wetlands. It's only in rare circumstances, maybe through construction of a power line, or maybe construction of a highway, maybe if it's being constructed on a raised highway, and also preventing damage of the wetland. Now, what is a wetland? For those of you who may not know, wetlands are things like swamps, things like bayous, things which a wetland is a place where there exists both plant life, water, and also animal life. Because even in wetlands, you find there are things like tadpoles, frogs, mosquitoes, and all of that plays a role into our general existence in the environment. Now, in accordance with the National Environment Act of of Uganda, in specific section 157, it stated that you cannot construct in a wetland, whether constructing a project, whether constructing a house, whether constructing a road, without getting a Nema license or a Nema permit, or a permit under the National Environment Management Act. Now, what does that mean? It means that Nema, as a body, which is the National Environment Management Authority, must give you a license to be able to operate or construct on a wetland. Now, even by them giving you that permit or license, it's because they have seen what your plan work is. If you're constructing your house in a wetland, are you going to take steps on how to rehabilitate the wetland? Are you putting there maram? Are you putting there, let's say, drainage channels to drain out the water? Or are you going to put the wetland back into the position that it was going to be in for future generations? So I guess that's number 7. You cannot construct in a wetland. Whether you are a foreigner, whether you're a national in Uganda, that is totally wrong. And every time I'm passing via Boise, I see people constructing more arcades and buildings in wetlands. So that is very wrong and very illegal. Let's go to the final one. And that is driving without third-party insurance. Now, we all know that at least we must drive with a driver's license. However, we do not know, or most people do not know, that you need third-party insurance. Now, what is motor third-party insurance? Personally, as an insurance law student, I learned a lot about insurance policies and laws concerning insurance. However, for this particular issue, I'm talking about motor third-party insurance. On most people's cars, for even you who are watching the videos, if you move out and look at your car, people have taken out insurance policies. They're going to see motor third party. Either it's by Sanlam, or it's by Prudential, or it's by Britam. Now, that is not there by mistake. They do not tell you to get that just by mistake or just out of saying. Motor third party insurance is prescribed under the law, under the traffic rules and safety regulations. It's meant that if you knock a car, or if you knock, or if a third party knocks you, or if you get any accident while driving on the road, then you're going to find that that motor third-party insurance can be able to pay for some of the damages that have happened to your car. That is why in most cases when traffic officers are stopping people, they're looking for either driver's license or motor third-party insurance. So I bet most of you did not know that that is actually a requirement under the law for you to have, and actually that can take you to jail for a misdemeanor. Many times I've talked about misdemeanors and crimes. A misdemeanor is it's a smaller crime, something that can take you to court for, take you to jail for maybe months or maybe at most 1 year. But then we have capital offenses which can take you for the death penalty, for life imprisonment, 50 years in jail. So, thank you so much for listening to me, everyone. I wanted to do this video because I find it very interesting that maybe nationals, you may not have known about things that you may have been doing on a daily basis that you did know that were illegal. And also international people. You may be coming to Uganda and you may do certain things that may land you into jail. And I wanted to make life as simple for you to understand. I remain yours truly, Terry Kahuma. And please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. For those who might also be new to Uganda or who may be Ugandans and may not know, we have a legal mobile app called Farmeron, which connects lawyers and people together, offering a multitude of other services. On Farmeron, you can be able to get lawyers that can help you with whatever issue you have, whether it's a family issue, whether it's a land issue, whether you've been robbed, whether you've been arrested by police and you need a lawyer to bail you out. Farmeron is there to help you. Whether you need to buy land as a foreigner, do you need to lease, do you need to adopt, whatever it is. We have over about 40 plus lawyers right now who can be able to help you. Farmeron is available on Play Store and Apple Store, so please feel free to use our services and make life simple for you. Until next time, I'm yours truly, Terry Kahuma, and bye.